Sometimes the most dangerous thing in the world is needing a job. Welcome back to Karma Quietly Whispers, my loves. This is your place for spooky, creepy, and scary stories. My name is Elara, and I am your whisperer. Tonight, please join me as we journey together. I'm sure you will enjoy what is to come. So, let us begin. Tonight, I need you to be with me because this one is not supernatural. There are no ghosts in this story. There are only people. And in some ways, that is so much worse. This was shared on Reddit by someone warning others. Shared not for attention, not for upvotes, but because two young women almost didn't come home. And this person needed the world to know the signs. Because the signs were there the whole time. The friends, let's call them Layla and Sarah, were university students without jobs at the time. Times were tight. So when a man and a woman approached them on their walk home from campus and started talking to them, complimenting them, calling them beautiful, mentioning a job opportunity, they listened. Of course they listened. They needed money. And at first glance, it seemed like a coincidence, like fate. Like maybe this was just one of those unexpected moments where something good finds you on an ordinary afternoon. But then one of the men said something. Quiet. Almost to himself. As if he forgot, for just 1 second, to keep his mask on. We hit the jackpot. Not, she seems great. Not, these girls would be perfect. He said they hit the jackpot. The language of acquisition, the language of people who see human beings as commodities, as scores, as found treasure. Layla and Sarah felt uncomfortable, but they talked themselves out of it. Maybe it was a translation thing. Maybe it was just an odd expression. They were given an address and told to come the next night. And because they needed money, because they were young, because hope can make you rationalize things you shouldn't, they went. The address led them to a large building, abandoned looking, unfinished, empty of any signage, any professional presence, any indication that real business happened there. No one waited outside to greet them. They called the number they'd been given. They were told to wait. I want to stop here and say something, with love and without judgment, because I know how easy it is to make these calls in the moment. If you ever arrive at a job interview location and it looks abandoned, if no one greets you, if you're told to wait outside an unlocked gate, that is your moment. That is the universe giving you a door that is still open. Walk back through it. They didn't. The gate opened. They walked in. And inside were approximately 15 men and a few women standing around, silent, just looking at them. No introductions, no explanation, no warmth, just eyes. They were taken upstairs. Most rooms were dark, empty. They were brought to a small room with an old sofa and a television and told their interview would begin soon. 40 minutes passed. Think about those 40 minutes, sitting in a dim room in an abandoned building surrounded by strangers who won't explain anything. That is 40 minutes of your gut screaming and your brain trying to find a rational explanation. That is 40 minutes of bargaining. Maybe this is just how they do things here. Maybe it's fine. Maybe you will feel silly for being scared. The man who finally came in to speak with them, wasn't in business clothes. He wasn't polished. He was in dirty clothes. He claimed to own the building. He looked nothing like what a legitimate employer looks like. And something in both of them finally snapped into clarity. Layla and Sarah began secretly texting their families, their friends, their locations. Short video clips of the people in the building sent out quietly from the dim room. Evidence, just in case, because they knew. They finally said they wanted to leave. Two men stepped forward and told them they couldn't. They couldn't leave. This is the moment. This is where everything became undeniable. Not come back tomorrow, not let us explain. We will not let you leave. That is the language of captivity. That is the mask coming all the way off. Layla and Sarah threatened to call the police immediately. And something in the men's calculation shifted. The men stepped aside. They ran. And as they ran down the stairs, as they moved through that half-dark, half-finished building toward the exit, they saw something on a lower level. Two women being dragged by a man and a woman. Dragged. They didn't stop. They couldn't. They got out. They called for help. Police came to the location. Nobody was there anymore. And that detail is, to me, the most chilling of all, because it tells you this was organized, that there were people watching, that the moment Layla and Sarah left and a police report became possible, a phone call was made, and whatever was happening in that building, and to those other women, dissolved into nothing, transported somewhere else into the darkness. I believe them. The poster believes them. The pattern is textbook. Approach vulnerable young people in public, compliment them, fabricate opportunity, lure to an isolated location, overwhelm with numbers, block the exit, see what's possible. Here's what I need you to take from this. Job offers from strangers who approach you on the street are not opportunities. They are traps. No legitimate recruiter follows you down the street commenting on your appearance. No real employer gives you an address to a building with no signage. And no professional situation involves 15 silent men staring at you when you arrive. If you are ever taken somewhere and told you cannot leave, threaten police immediately, loudly, and without hesitation. Make noise. The calculation of predators depends on silence and isolation. Shatter both. Send your location before you go anywhere unfamiliar. Tell people where you are. Record faces if you can. These things saved Layla and Sarah, the women they saw being dragged. I hope they found their way home too. Some stories are about ghosts. This one is about how darkness operates in daylight, and how the most important thing you can do is recognize it before the gate closes. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Elara, and I am your whisperer. I'll be here, waiting for you next time. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below. I want to hear your stories. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more. This has been Karma Quietly Whispers. See you soon.